Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News Digital Desk. The day that we have been warning people and informing people about for the last couple of weeks, which is the intense weather that we were expecting the day after Thanksgiving, is here, and we are absolutely seeing it. Now, I want to show you a couple of looks right now. This is 4 different views from Cleveland. You may notice things look totally okay. In fact, you may notice here from I-90, it's that route around 528. Yeah, there's a lot of snow there, but the roads seem clear. But what I'm trying to make sure that people are incredibly aware of is it's not all linear, right? It is not all the same. No two roads are made equal here, and no two traffic conditions are in the same spot. And that is exactly what we are seeing. In fact, for many parts of I-90, it's not necessarily the easiest travel conditions right now. And for those that are potentially traveling this weekend, and you're trying to get out and you're trying to maybe go home or head east or what have you, you might be in a lot of trouble here. So I want to show you what it looks like, first of all, from OGO cams at the moment, where we are currently seeing myself, our traffic anchor here, Rachel Veda, have been looking at this for quite some time. We were able to see that there are some slowdowns taking place, some limits on some of or at least the mile an hour that you're allowed to go, the speed limits there. This is I-90 at Ashtabula County line. This is one of the areas that we are seeing those slowdowns taking place at the moment. So anybody that's taking I-90 traveling east, you're going to be seeing some of these issues here. So what we are seeing at the moment, those are reduced speed conditions. Basically, Route 44 to the Ashtabula County border, which you are seeing right now, they are suggesting to have those reduced conditions. And I get it. You may see that camera on there and go, you know what? That looks fine to me. This is what happens the further east you go if you are planning on going east. This is from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation here, where they are having some very heavy restrictions currently in place. Now, I want to see if I can pull up the cameras on this. Yes, I can. Okay. So this is what it currently looks like as soon as you start to approach Pennsylvania, right? This is a look at that. Let's go to a live actual video of this. And you can see this is the current conditions, okay? What they are currently experiencing and what they are having you do, you cannot go more than 45 miles an hour. Normally, in some areas, it goes from 65 to 55, basically through the entirety of Pennsylvania on I-90. 45 miles an hour, that's been the reduction. In addition to that, any commercial vehicles have to be in the far right lane. And it just gets worse the further east you go. So this right now, that is the Pennsylvania-Ohio border. Let's skip ahead and show you the New York-Pennsylvania border, where tons of people potentially are to try to get home for the holidays. Look at the difference. Again, that is a matter of about 100 miles, potentially less. Look at the difference there. This is a live video. Yes, this is a live video showing you what it's looking like right now. Cars at a standstill. Those trucks that have not agreed to get to the far right lane, not moving anywhere. Again, this is an advisory that is in place. So the further you go on 90, the more restrictions you currently have. I also want to show you here, Matt Bruning, the communications director for the Department of Transportation. They have more than 200 crews currently out right now in Ohio, a heavy majority clearly in Northeast Ohio. We've said this once, I'm going to say it a million times, you need to give these crews space. Now, we do not have a report as of right now on any of them hit, but that very much so seems like it could be a possibility. Last year, we saw a record number of plows being struck because people just do not give them the space. So I want to show you the photos that we see here. That's at the Ohio Welcome Center. Conditions are not looking good. And for anybody that knows, that is the Pennsylvania-Ohio border. The conditions are not looking good over there. In fact, when you pull up this, I mean, that is scary. Basically, from Cleveland all the way to Ashtabula into Pennsylvania, you're going to be in some rough shape, seeing potential feet of snow between now and 7 a.m. on Monday. But again, what we are seeing is something that we here at 19 News have expected. It's more so the conditions that are changing, right? So it's the conditions on the road and the roads that are starting to be more variable. In fact, I-90, again, we are seeing reduced speeds in a large portion of I-90 heading toward Pennsylvania. Then as soon as you get into Pennsylvania, that's when you're going to see a reduction to 45 miles an hour. Yes, 45 miles an hour. And also, any commercial vehicles, you gotta be in the right-hand lane because of how the conditions are. I'm gonna show you a couple more of those videos from that spot. Again, that's a live look from the border from New York to Pennsylvania. So that starts as soon as you get in from Ohio. You can even see on the top there that the welcome centers are open. Some of the welcome centers are open, but some of them are closed due to conditions. So if you're trying to find relief and you're on the roads, you might not have it. Look at this red line. So this is where we see the cameras. Let's go over here. This is just outside of Erie, which are those folks are expecting a ton. This is traveling eastbound. Those are the conditions on 90 outside of Erie. Yeah, not good. So we talked about this a lot over the past couple of days. I spoke about it a ton with Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas, basically for the last week. The difficulty is not here, but many people aren't sticking around. You're potentially going to visit family east. If you're going west, you're totally okay. But if you're going east, that's where the issues are. You're trying to go east. As soon as you start to make your way, essentially about 40 minutes from the Pennsylvania border, that's when you're going to start to see the slowdowns, and then this advisory starts to pick up even more. There's multiple ones essentially set up, but this is what it's looking like right now. So for anybody that's looking to travel east, you're going to be in a difficult spot. Let's show you what it looks like here in Ohio again. This is from the OGO cams. You're going to see that the conditions aren't terrible, right? I mean, like, look at this one, for instance, and I'll pull this camera up live, actually, okay? You can see the weather obviously is not ideal, but it's sloshy. You got a little bit of the snow in the middle, but there's nothing really difficult to traverse. So that's where, just showing you the mile difference, right? So let's go all the way to the border here and show you what this one looks like. Let's see if I can pull that up. There you go. So when you see this camera here, right, that's okay. Not terrible, but not great. There we go. Not great conditions, not terrible conditions. You know, could be better, could be worse. You're seeing some cars there traverse it. But what you can't see is more so the concern. That's I-90 at Ashtabula County. So that's basically the last point that we're going to be able to show you in the state of Ohio. As soon as you get into Pennsylvania, again, you can't see what's in front of you. Things start to progressively get worse. Okay, this is the current condition right there. This is the Ohio line from the Pennsylvania side heading eastbound. Okay, you can see starting to get worse. Potentially they haven't plowed as well as we have here in Ohio. That's fine. But as soon as you start to make your way more, this is more eastbound. This is trying to see Girard, if you're familiar with that area. I unfortunately am not. This is heading closer in toward the Erie, Pennsylvania area. Look at the conditions there. Now that, for folks that are familiar with that, that's less than an hour drive. That's 30 minutes, 40 minutes away, maybe less. And if you're heading that direction, you may think, oh, look, the conditions outside right now, totally fine. Everything's going to be okay. The closer you get to Pennsylvania, that's when we're seeing conditions similar to this. And again, I want to show you what it looks like currently in Erie, Pennsylvania. Obviously, these cameras can be covered with things, but the point remains the same. And then as soon as you totally make your way, if you're really trying to make your way potentially into New York or something like that, that's when you're seeing something like this. And this is traveling westbound right now. That view there, you can see you're not seeing a car in the eastbound lane. A lot of concerns there. A lot of the reason for, again, the reduction in speed. 65 miles an hour to 55 is typically what is seen in the state of Pennsylvania on I-90. That has dropped down to 45. Commercial vehicles got to be in the right-hand lane. And here in the state of Ohio, we are currently seeing reduction of speed in many, many areas. They just changed the camera over so you can take a look. This is now viewed southwest, so heading west. Conditions looking okay for the most part in some areas of Ohio, but still not ideal. You got to be careful. And if you are committed to potentially going and visiting folks east, essentially, of Cleveland, you're going to have a difficult time. You might not have the easiest travel day. And for some people, you may have to start to reconsider your plans there. Let me just pull up really quickly here from our folks here in the 19 First Alert Weather Department to show you exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, let's do this here. So what I'll do is I will show you the latest from Jeff Tanchek from early this morning, because I think that's potentially the best way to kind of have this here and to show you what you can expect. Now, we're expecting storms in some facet for various areas until Tuesday. So this thing's not ending anytime soon. All right, so let's show you this here. This is from 19 First Alert 19 First Alert meteorologist Jeff Tanchek on this. I apologize, this computer's going a little slower than I would like it to. But what we're going to show you is what you can expect from the latest forecast in this. All right, here we go. Now I'll be able to show you. Again, this is First Alert meteorologist Jeff Tanchak breaking down the latest when it comes to what we can expect and these key areas you need to pay attention to.
Certified most accurate since 2004.
Reminds me of the dog from Men in Black. All right, let's take a live look outside now from our First Alert camera network. We are looking out over downtown Cleveland. We don't see much snow out there, but you know, if you look at other parts of Northeast Ohio right now, we see white rooftops. Yeah, a completely different story there. Jeff?
Yes, it's a totally different story, and that's lake effect here. Very localized heavy snow, and look at this. It was bad last night and early this morning here up that I-90 corridor, and it's starting to get bad again as this heavy squall is wavering back on shore. So we have heavy snow now in Ashtabula, Geneva, about ready to move into Madison here. Could sneak into Menor as well, but Paynesville, North Perry, it is coming down. And this is just for the rest of today, basically now and then through tonight. Some areas that you already have around a foot of snow on the ground, like Ashtabula, you could see potentially another foot. Locally, even another 2 feet of snow in eastern Lake County, potentially here Thompson, and in Ashtabula, Geneva, Austinburg area. We'll see how things set up. The thing about lake effect, it's all about nowcasting, but everything coming together. We have heavy snow off of all the Great Lakes. Upper level area of low pressure sits over James Bay in Canada, and this is forcing all of this cold air to continue to build across the Great Lakes and Northeast. And this is the time of year when water temperatures are at their warmest. This is the time of year where you could get these major lake effect events, and this is one that's happening right now. And the thing about this pattern is that it doesn't change. So you're looking at heavy lake effect snow and snow squalls east of Cleveland the rest of the afternoon here through tonight. And then tomorrow we get more of a wind shift to the southwest. So I think that's going to force a lot of this lake effect out over Lake Erie, more towards the Buffalo area. Now that'll be tomorrow. In fact, we're even going to see a mix of sun and clouds, but it remains windy and cold. We're only in the upper 20s. But then on Sunday, okay, and this is Sunday morning, look at this. It wants to make a comeback as the wind shifts west to northwest again, and that could impact eventually more of the Cleveland area Sunday night going into Monday here. So windy and cold tomorrow, mixed clouds and sun, 28. You may still have some lake effect like in northern Ashtabula County, but I think a lot of us will get a break. Sunday, lake effect returns, going to be blustery and cold. In fact, look at all the alert days that we have going on. Through the weekend, Monday, Tuesday of next week, all due to lake effect and temperatures way below normal. 32 the high today. We'll drop down to 19 tonight, 28 tomorrow, 30 on Sunday. And just a heads up, Sunday night, Monday, okay, with more of a northwest wind, we can spread this lake effect snow to more of the area early next week. Wednesday, a clipper system will bring snow to the area, we think. And look at this, the double weekend. This time next week, next weekend, staying cold. We're locked in it. Gabby?
All right, Jeff, thank you. And now is the perfect time to remind you to download that 19 First Alert weather.
And yes, it is the best time to download that 19 First Alert weather app. Although if you're watching right now on your phone, you're not going to be able to scan it. So I'm going to pull that off. All right. Just a reminder, everybody, as Jeff said, this is going to be a long process here. Please stay safe. Remember, give plows the space that they need. More than 200 crews for ODOT are currently out right now. So just give them the room. But again, if you are planning on heading east for the holidays, this is something that we have talked about pretty consistently here at 19 News. You may need to reevaluate your plans. While the travel looks okay currently within the greater Cleveland area and Northeast Ohio, it's not the case the further east you go. All right, that is the latest that we have here at 19 News for this update. We are going to have much more to come, both on air and online. A quick programming reminder, we do not have another newscast airing here at 19 News until about 11 o'clock p.m. But we will see you then. And of course, we'll have the latest available at cleveland19.com. For now, I'm Jeff Slauson with 19 News. Have a great day and a great night. Any breaking news available, of course, here on 19 News at cleveland19.com and on the app.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV. Search for channel 1035.